Jeffrey, tell me, will it do you any good if I die of laughing? Who will provide for you if I die? Eliza finally couldn't help but speak. Eliza had believed in what Jeffrey and Liam said for a moment because they looked very serious. But after hearing what Jacob and Adrienne said, she realized that it was just a show Jeffrey put on because of his stubborn pride. She became even more disappointed in Jeffrey now. She thought he was not only an idler, but also a poseur. How could she have hope for his future? Jeffrey couldn't explain, but he thought it was a good thing that nobody believed him, because he didn't want them to know who he was. So he went with it and said, I just want to show you something fun and spice things up. No, you must stop that nonsense. You can't let a stranger come to our house next time. What if he steals something from us? Our house is not a place any people can come. Joan roared. Jeffrey sneered secretly. He thought if you know who Liam is, you will feel that his presence is a great honor. Even though Liam had kneeled down in front of Jeffrey, he was actually a 3-star warrior. He had to kneel because Jeffrey was higher in rank. Sorry, I just can't stop laughing. My muscles ache from laughing. Jeffrey, why don't you change your surname from Langdon into Laughingstock? That suits you better. They were still laughing. Jeffrey had lost his appetite after becoming the object of ridicule. So he stood up quietly to leave. However, something unexpected happened. When Jeffrey was turning around, Selena's Yorkshire Terrier just happened to be at his feet. He didn't expect the terrier to be there, so he trampled on it by mistake. The Yorkshire Terrier immediately began to scream. Selena was enraged when she saw that. Dang you, are you blind? How dare you trample on my terrier? Do you want to die? Selena cursed Jeffrey. At the same time, she picked up her bowl and threw it at him. Jeffrey heard what Selena did from behind. He turned around and punched at the bowl. And he smashed the bowl. Even though the bowl was smashed in the air, the soup inside still splashed in Jeffrey's face and chest. Jeffrey could never have thought that Selena would throw a bowl at him just because he trampled on her dog by mistake. Was he really inferior to a dog in the hearts of the Martindales? Jeffrey's emotional control was being tested to its limits, and he simply could not repress his anger this time. There was suddenly a fierce aura around Jeffrey as he glared at Selena. Those who had been laughing after watching the show Jeffrey and Liam put on suddenly fell silent. The Yorkshire Terrier also stopped screaming when it felt Jeffrey's unusual dark aura. It shivered in the corner and stared at Jeffrey in fear. Everyone felt as if they were chilled to the bone when they saw Jeffrey's eyes now. Nobody had ever seen eyes that cold. They couldn't help but shiver and hunch forward. And nobody could have thought that the matrilocal son-in-law would suddenly be enraged. They could even see scenes of wars from Jeffrey's eyes. Eliza knew Jeffrey was quite outraged. Eliza knew Jeffrey was quite outraged. So, Shara Shedto him and asked, Jeffrey, what are you doing? Are you alright? When Jeffrey saw listing, his sanger does a peladiridum, among the Martindals on Lyle is a cooled ones, and swaz justavind linty, before, wise over daredity hula wishy me name. Jeffrey smenwo fo for tef sorter, bin cos humili alaphaleftir Phenol is a shootinless, Selena Martindale, that's outrageous. Jeffrey is me as band. Yaushelden Thora Bari, Elizak Ald Nolingentiers, Althophil is a bor offlinton, it's far from distus. Theth ear Muriag Wavontons. In Thier 3-year marriage, Elizawas the Decian maker. Dinal headed Ulthandra Creoshish. Oh, Newold be Fefair Terry, not to mention Humang. It might not belove, but more likafamibandi. Selina Hadrikova Fime in the Iminim. Seening that Jeffra Feferis, Shunalan Jerfeldstar. Pin Nopa Kamatoffer terrorists. What is the low stonking I how cowled hibbibul doladol? The most eye-catching bride, how ridiculous, it cowled in Tevin a free. Where a did hegathin terrorist? Look, Eliza Hasneringer. Can you believe Escher Elis ackled bebreflistlianes? Or shashald wawufian terianch? It is saith that a tattle of alef isn't is easy. Elizas hold of vogist for nothing ganjitman tarried. Es liza felt some bertes terras. Shu would rethurge a frefri. What's wrong with oitao? Ike knew you asked sama bomabo. What no? A stunning wedding. Do you want to Thurston? I told you to bury an not a brag. You feel good daf FLest. What about? Rau hapatomertos, Elizamos explodged. However, Jeffrey looked off eferaterit. Liz, trust me. I keep every wordist. From this day forward, I will never McCoy. Enkazawas or Prishefist. Hound sa determinost. All right, I'll trust you for them. Elize si metaby phi bitadlivity. I can't witos what's gonna happen next. Hidentio kamelenterid. Let's see what will with. Selina said, "Na problem, it will throw her affendy." Jeffrey replied, "Keep your words." Remember Toshua Pori? Senanacanthilage? Mrs. Martin Deleased, what if you can't off? You've always wanted, don't you? If I can't at that, I will divorce you phone 10. Jeffrey replied, "Good, very good, Don Tregritonthity." Mrs. Martin de la Hadaladarins. I will navirat mords, Jeffrey replied. Liz, are a youser ethathawaviadial for nothing. Of course, let's say it with Darren Tenty. Okay? No thatumik yakoizi, dot comator coramenini. When you divorcers, you can come back again. Double quotes, Mrs. Martindale said plainly. Theckrode whence Wellington, Martindale said, Nobo dia deverafik tellect. It's also beyond Delhi's expectations. Shy had been felicited it. Senek alda bellist. I hope you will navister. Thella Martindale forend. Jeffrey said, Martin Dallas fori. Are you kidding? Mrs. Martindale rolled her eyes and said so. Shafia swerida derafism. So Shafira delafartant. Jeffrey, can you bend your what's wrong with oitao? Wake up from your dare. Nobo de williscore free, Jacob said. Yeah, wake up, people ilikio haforif. Use hold gobaka karistin. Senanon Jacoboff offentive if dift. Talk I didn't the v pontintin. Tame hada waswaf on tevafaf cock. Never hath he acquired do stintant. Liz, let's go. Jeffrey ignored him, took Eliza shand, and went outside. Getu to fear, ilo a thethos wabontunt. Mrs. Martin Dalshatortentin. When thigh weruatala ferim, Eliza finale region sationations. She sighed angrily. Jeffrey, you can't me fafio tin. Why do you embara teddies? Jeffrey said. You never want to die voicey. I fiouten twantode. Hi do you bet wit me? Ellis asked. Because Mjur haunt lows. Ray you still bradging. It can't help with the evingding. I don't twantalo say. You didn't the vito. He get my way. You ow Eliza Wasver I'm offended fearitfuff. She said. Fine. Is a veneface a ferretary? There is no war reforby. Shesmold, Butenamorn Folly, and Sade, it might be good of auntie. It's just a tariff team. Jeff Freda didn't want Wantanen, cowled you lend mafaronfer. Don't you avai ormo? Elizon swear it in tishanties. My mobile haste bean coup. Jeff Frey repli daredwold. Eliza was speakless. She thought, Hantled Hebriglate. Eliza didn't wafa far feffenance and nenins and nen easy. Jeffrey went to Philidrin Terranchert. Lis Amravetha Ferif. Of course, Jeffrey remembered ins. After buying Jalefati, Liam thought the beta Ferafi. He was stinking Gantanta. Noticing its Sassistron, Liam Mance were Dimpanti, who's there, it's Jeffrey. Liam shuddered it in Tunto, Tiger General, Rec West Instructi.